Senator Muir.
Thank you, Chair. Some submitters expressed concern that the amendments to section 116 of the bill will give the minister an unrestricted power to cancel a visa if a benefit was received by a visa holder in return for the occurrence of a sponsorship-related event. Can the minister confirm whether the minister will have an unrestricted power to cancel a visa?
Thank you, Minister.
You're correct, Senator, but there will be discretionary power. And the reason it's going to be discretionary is because we're talking about the circumstances under which the person who's in the country with a visa has actually acted in a way that coerces an employer, and in those circumstances, I have to say, would seem extremely rare to try to come up with those circumstances. But in circumstances where they are party to ensuring that they benefit. Now, there may be circumstances where that a clear benefit doesn't flow to that visa holder. So the minister then has the discretion to look at all those circumstances to ensure that there is ample evidence that the person who's the applicant for the visa is a beneficiary of some of those transactions. But that will be a discretion held by the minister for those reasons.
Senator Muir.
Thank you, Chair. There were some concerns that if this bill is passed, the minister may cancel the visa of a person who has been subject to human trafficking and forced labour or slavery-related offences under the Criminal Code or serious exploitation in violation of the Fair Work Act. Can the minister please advise what safeguards are in place to ensure that such cancellations do not occur?
Minister.
So under this policy, it's the intention that visa cancellation would not be pursued where payments have been extracted under coercion or in circumstances of slavery or human trafficking. That's exactly what that discretion is intended to provide, Senator.
Senator Muir.
Thank you, Minister. It was submitted to the Senate inquiry that with the threat of cancellation of a visa, it is likely to have the perverse outcome of assisting those engaged in human trafficking and shocking workplace exploitation by further deterring victims of such crimes from reporting the crimes against them if they have been offered a sponsorship-related event. Can the minister please advise what is in this bill to prevent this perverse outcome occurring?
Thank you, Minister.
It is not the intention of this. It's the intention of this bill to protect not only the process, but those individuals who are legitimately here on a work right from being exploited. So I guess the burden of evidence would operate around for the issues that the minister may take into consideration in his discretion would be the role that was actually played by the applicant. So in the circumstances, it almost goes to, it is very difficult for someone in those circumstances, if you like, to put their hand up and say, look, I'm in this particular circumstance, and I acknowledge that. But like many of these nature of these crimes, that is often the case. But once discovered which of the circumstances that we're talking about, we would ensure that we would be able, if we were able to establish that the sponsor was actually providing the coercion to the worker, and if you talked about the certain circumstances of the workplace, I think I've covered that in the last couple of questions to my colleague opposite. But it would be the clear intention that the application of this particular legislation is to prevent the mischief of the sponsor coercing the individual who's applying for the visa.
I'm now going to put amendments. Sorry, Senator Muir.
Just one more. I'll keep it very, very short. Can the minister please advise who drafted the bill and what consultation occurred?
Thank you, Minister.
I'm advised it was the Office of Parliamentary Counsel that drafted the bill, which is the pretty regular process, Senator. In terms of consultation, in terms of the consultation, Senator, there was a number of Commonwealth agencies we consulted: the Attorney General's Department, the Australian Federal Police, the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions, the Department of Treasury, the Fair Work Ombudsman and the Department of Employment. And as you'd be aware, Senator, there was a Senate inquiry or parliamentary inquiry into this matter, and they made some substantive recommendations as part of most Senate inquiries, particularly with the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee, as you'd be aware, Senator, are involved in submissions and a general consultation that the process of the Senate will take for granted.